today I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Tourism Nova Scotia, a few tourism opportunities to make you aware of, and kind of hopefully plant some seeds, ideas that you may be able to consider moving forward. And I hope that you'll reach out afterwards with any questions and that we can, again, have a chat today. So we'll talk about Tourism Nova Scotia, who our visitors are, and provide some insights on some tools and resources as well. So Tourism Nova Scotia, our mandate is to help support tourism growth in Nova Scotia and to help maximize the value of the industry to our economy across the province in all regions. So to do that, as of January 1st, we've become a division of Communities, Culture, Tourism, and Heritage. We are the provincial marketing organization, so we work with, we have consumer marketing as well. So we'll chat about our main tool of novascotia.com, where we direct all of our consumer marketing traffic to. And then we also work with the travel trade too, and travel media, kind of looking at ways that we can, expand kind of that market that they may be planning ahead, they're going on group tours, things like that. I fall into the sector development umbrella of experience development, where we work with businesses and operators looking at ways that we can increase the visitor connection to Nova Scotia through creating packages, experiences that are really targeted to the type of visitor that comes here. We also have a business development team who can help with tourism startups and things like that. And everything that we do revolves around what our research team does. It's a really vital cog in the organization. We make all of our programming decisions based on what research is telling us that visitors have done when they were here, and also what visitors are telling us would really appeal to them about coming to Nova Scotia. We also, as part of our operations, we have a communications team. We operate 6 provincial visitor information centers. And then we also have our contact center as well that provides vital link for visitors calling and emailing about what can they do to help with trip planning as well. So there's lots of people here. I'm just one of them. And so sometimes when you reach out, I'd be really excited to connect you with other members of our team, depending on kind of what your inquiry is and who's got the expertise to help you. So that said, we also have some really strong partnerships with different regions of the province. So you can see listed here, we work very closely with Shore Tourism Cooperative, Destination Halifax, Coastal Nova Scotia, Northumberland Shore, and so on. So these groups are also really vital in leveraging our channels, but also working to promote kind of individual opportunities within these regions. So we all work collectively and we all work together to enhance the visitor experience and opportunities, get the messaging out to visitors about how wonderful it is to come and explore and experience Nova Scotia. So right now our markets for the last couple of years, sure you're aware, we haven't been able to do kind of our regular tourism activities. We've been really concentrated on encouraging Nova Scotians when it's safe to travel around Nova Scotia and to reach out to that maritime market to remind everybody of how fantastic the offerings here are here in Nova Scotia. This spring, we've been able to get back to promoting and working with our Ontario and Quebec markets as well, along with the Northeastern US. And then a little bit later in 2022, we'll reinvigorate our campaigns for the UK and Germany as well. So we're excited to get back to those markets. Obviously, that all being said with the caveat of COVID-19 may adjust what we have to do as it's adjusted what we've done the last couple of years. But we are ready for that. We've pivoted a number of times, and we're excited to hopefully get back to things. But if we need to change, we will. But these are the markets that we've traditionally been looking at and been working in the last number of years. So as I mentioned, as we all know, things have been challenging the last couple of years, but we've really noticed in 2021, as things started to improve, that recovery is happening. A significant increase in visitation throughout kind of those fall months, see an increase in accommodation sales as well. And to our flagship website, novascotia.com, we used to on average have just about 4 million hits to that website. But in 2021, that has increased to over 7 million hits to the website. So we're really happy with how our marketing has resonated with potential visitors and with people looking to explore Nova Scotia. So we're happy to continue that trend and keep working to increase the content on novascotia.com. So visitors are really using that to discover what to do. And so we know that there's still room to grow that. And so we want to provide more and more opportunities for that 7 million potential visitors to really be captured or really to see what's happening on novascotia.com. So some trends that we're seeing also that people are really attracted to kind of rural locations, the outdoors, They really want to experience all things local, from local food to local. They want to see local attractions. They want to experience the stories of local people. They really want to feel that connection to Nova Scotia and all of the culture and elements that we have here. They are still expecting safety protocols. So we have found over throughout COVID-19 that, that's also part of the messaging in your marketing to visitors is, what safety protocols to expect and what you as an operation, an organization, or a business continue to follow, and how you're working within those protocols. And another trend that we've really seen kind of hit the roof throughout COVID-19 is whether or not we wanted to, we really embraced digital adoption throughout COVID-19. Traffic to websites and bookings and things like that has all seen an increase. And so it's really important to maximize all of those opportunities because that's where visitors are going first. So within the Maritimes, like Tourism Nova Scotia has never marketed in the Maritimes before until COVID-19. So we needed to do some research leading or when the pandemic hit to make sure we best understood the market so that our marketing could resonate with them. So what we learned through as people travel around the Maritimes is that about 50% travel as a couple or with children. They travel year round, but we do see the highest influx of visitation between July and September. Similar to our further away visitors, they are very interested in our coastal activities, hiking, our food, our wines, but they do tend to stay 1 or 2 nights, where visitors from further away do tend to stay longer. During the pandemic, we were tended to gravitate a little bit more to the familiar, but very interested in exploring, but did expect to see that messaging of what to expect. Cancellation policies became more and more and more important for people to just understand. And again, they expected to see kind of what safety protocols they could expect. And for the maritime market, unlike again our further away market who may stay longer and plan further out, most maritimers had a pretty short booking window. They were making kind of more decisions closer to the time when they would travel, last minute getaways, things like that. Before I continue on, are there any questions? And remember, I can't see you, so if you're waving, I'm going to need somebody to kind of speak up if there's any questions.
See any waves or hands at this
Okay, great. Thanks, Kat.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
point?
I'm not seeing, just looking at your insights here, I'm not seeing anything in the sort of cultural, artistic sector.
So culture is very important to all of our travelers. They're very interested. It does tend to be a little bit more of a niche market in the sense of kind of what exactly, whether it would be, say, the arts, crafts, looking at maybe Acadian culture, things like that. And when I say that, we would also consider golf to be a niche market, for example. So when I say niche, it's just that, broader speaking, big umbrella, that some people that most are looking for those coastal activities, but arts and culture is still quite high on the list. They want to experience that as well. So not excluding, just kind of was looking at a much bigger, broader umbrella.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And just to let you know that, like, again, this is like such a tiny, tiny snapshot that we are happy to provide and dive deeper into specific elements of our research if there are further questions. So if you have a research question that you'd like us to provide you information from, we are happy to do that. So we do visitor exit surveys. We're going to do one again this year. The last one was in 2019. So we ask people, how long were you here? How much did you spend? What did you do? So we have information as people leave the province. But then we also do kind of through our focus groups and through our panels, we will do research on kind of would this type of thing appeal to you? We would ask, what would motivate you to choose Nova Scotia? So we have a lot of research that I'm not able to provide it all here today, but if you have specific questions or you just want to know a little bit more, I'm happy to provide that kind of after the presentation. So please don't ever hesitate to reach out. We want to share it, and we want to share it in a way that is helpful to you. So please just anytime, let us know. Any additional questions?
You're good.
All right.
Keep going.
All right, thank you. So in addition to looking at insights like, what maritimers are interested in doing here, or what people, who are traveling from another destination may like to do, or kind of looking at demographics and things like that, we also use insights where we look at the why people travel and what, again, motivates them to make kind of the decisions of what they purchase or where they go. And so to do this, we use a tool called Explorer Quotient, which is developed by Destination Canada. And Destination Canada is our national marketing organization, whereas Tourism Nova Scotia is the provincial marketing organization. So we use the same tool as Destination Canada. Parks Canada also uses this tool, and many of our regional partners as well. So with Explorer Quotient, we really look at the why people travel. What are their travel values? How they travel? What they're inspired to do while they're traveling. And there are 9 travel segments that fall under this Explorer Quotient umbrella. And with the exception of one called the Virtual Traveler, which we've all been the last couple of years, they all travel to Nova Scotia. One is called the Personal History Buff. So that individual is kind of following maybe their family tree and following their genealogy. Others are kind of looking at other things they're looking for in Nova Scotia. Tourism Nova Scotia targets these 3, the authentic experiencers, cultural explorers, and free spirits in our marketing, because what Nova Scotia offers really aligns with these 3 segments, and they tend to be the most influenced by our marketing. Whereas someone like the personal history explorer, they are following their genealogy, so they may not be as keen on the marketing, since they kind of have another reason for travel. So authentic experiencers are, sorry, all 3 segments, there are similarities between them, and I'm going to explain a little bit about each in a minute. They all want to see something authentic, something true to Nova Scotia, something that connects them with our people, our food, our arts, our culture, our languages, the natural beauty of our surroundings, our local food, and how that local food is part of our story, how our arts are part of our story, things like that. But how they want to experience is really where they differ. So I've chosen a site that I'm making an assumption we're all at least slightly familiar with, the Halifax Citadel National Historic Site. So right in downtown Halifax, beautiful location. And as I mentioned, Parks Canada also uses this tool when they're developing their programming and their experiences. So as an example, the authentic experiencer is someone who likes to get really into the details. They love the history, they love the story, they're likely have researched a location before they arrived. They are going to explore on their own, they're going to read all the panels, they will engage with the interpretive staff to ask questions as they go along, and they really want to take it all in. They want to feel like they're a part of the site, but it's slightly more independent. The cultural explorer, for example, is more apt to want to join a group tour. So the Halifax Citadel has a program that is just prime for the cultural explorers. The Soldier for the Day program, where you spend about 3 hours, you dress in an authentic costume, or authentic uniform, I should say. You complete foot drills, you learn to fire the rifle, you get to, if you're over 16, I believe it is, I should preface that. You do that training so you can fire the authentic rifle. You have a private tour of the fort, the fortress, and then you also, have light refreshments as well. So that's really more up the alley of the cultural explorer who wants to kind of have that hands-on, really engaging, interactive experience. The free spirit, we kind of describe them more as like the checklist traveler. They want to have been there, done that. Excuse me. Maybe looking for the perfect selfie opportunity. They tend to seek out a bit more luxury, a bit more pampering when they're on vacation. Travel is very important to them. The experience is very important to them. And we partnered a few years ago with Taste Halifax Tours to create the Halifax Foodie Adventure, designed specifically for that free spirit market. So that Halifax Foodie Adventure, you go to some of our great restaurants downtown and you sample, I think this takes place about over 4 hours, sample a donair, lobster mac and cheese, seafood chowder at these different restaurants in these private experiences. You go to the Halifax Citadel, you have a private tour, private charcuterie, rum tasting at the Citadel that is kind of exclusive to this group, which is something that free spirits really like. They like that catering too. So they get to say, I was at the Halifax Citadel, but they don't necessarily want to spend the time that maybe the authentic experiencer would like to, going through all the details, reading all the panels and taking in all the history. They want to say they were there, they want to have that experience, and then they're ready for the next thing. Any questions on the 3 different segments that we're targeting in our marketing and programming? All right, I'm gonna keep going on. So I wanted to share with you today some of the opportunities that we have to work together through tourism. Oh, sorry.
I do, that's okay. I do have just a question on those 3. Could you speak, like, if you were going to put them into a theater context or an arts and culture context, performing arts, any of kind of those streams, how you might, or how you see it envisioned or have seen it envisioned? Like I would see, you know, private tours potentially or different things like that.
Absolutely. So I think, there's lots of differences depending on maybe what the production is, where it's taking place, kind of indoor theater, outdoor theater, kind of the subject matter, things like that. So I'm not going to I don't want to be held kind of hard and fast to my answer, but I have some ideas, I guess, that come to mind. So, for example, the authentic experiencer I see is somebody who's, they get the pamphlet when they come in. They're going to read about the actors. They're going to read the background of the play. They're going to have questions like that. And if there's an opportunity to have somebody to talk to answer some of those questions, I think, and making that like an awareness piece for the authentic experiencer, they'd love to have that connection and that background to understand kind of how this production came to be. Is it something that was written locally? Is it something that, is there an opportunity to meet the playwright? Is there opportunity to meet the artist? Things like that. Is there a way to incorporate that into a production? And it's not something, when we think about these ideas, sometimes it's not about having that as so maybe the production runs for 5 days. It's not something that maybe has to be offered all 5 of the days, but maybe there's one day, one matinee. Maybe the ticket price is different because you're able to add additional value that day. But maybe it only happens once during the production. And maybe it's some time that you feel like you need to drive traffic to that particular timing of that offering. So sometimes it doesn't need to be, you need to make it special, and that also helps create demand for it. The cultural explorer, maybe in that context, is there an opportunity to come early, to stay late, to try something out, if it's a particular, is there puppetry? Are you working with an artisan? Is there a way to get their hands in it, to have that experiential opportunity where they can connect and try something out? Is there dancing involved? Can we, stay a little longer? We'll teach you this step. Something like that might be kind of up that cultural explorer alley. The free spirit, again, I'm just kind of throwing ideas at the wall. The free spirit itself, maybe is there a private booth where we could have, a wine tasting and charcuterie during the play? Or is there a way to kind of make something exclusive, that it's only available to this particular group, who again, they are paying additional for that. We want to make this profitable to help increase the sustainability of our sector, increase the sustainability of your offering, your organization, your arts. We want to increase that. So looking at ways that we can differentiate the product and create a different experience that is priced appropriately for the time and effort and energy that it's taking to put that on. Was that kind of helpful?
Yeah, it was. The free spirit almost sounds like your Instagrammer or your influencer.
Yeah.
Am I correct in that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we hate
those
to
were
generalize.
helpful.
Yeah, we hate to generalize too much, obviously, right? But just kind of picturing that, the been there, done that checklist. I want to say I was there, and they're just looking for a different. Again, they all want to come to your production. All 3 segments are interested in the production, but if we want to cater to their interests, they're looking for different types of experiences while they're there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any further questions on that? Happy to keep chatting. No? All right, we're going to continue on. So I wanted to introduce you today also, so you've learned a little bit about how we think of visitors and how we consider visitors when we're creating packages and experiences and opportunities. So now I wanted to share with you some tools and resources at your disposal to try to help reach those visitors and help attract them a little bit. So one of them that I'd really love to see, as I said, this is our flagship website. All of our provincial tourism marketing drives traffic to novascotia.com. to look at what can they do here, what can they experience here, and it's free for you to list on novascotia.com. So take advantage of that. You know, the listings are able to be updated. You know, what gets put on there today doesn't have to be the same next week if something has changed. So I really encourage you to utilize this channel as much as you possibly can. And it's nothing I present to you today is meant for you to take it and just have to go figure it out. You'll get our contact information and we're happy to help anytime. So novascotia.com, as we said, gets, you know, close to 7 million visitors coming to this site every year, you know, looking for what to do here. And so we really want to showcase that. One of the ways to do that would be through what we kind of categorize as business listings. So that could be for, you know, accommodations, attractions, studios, galleries, you know, whether it be a restaurant, specialty food. So those, you would qualify for a business listing for that. So let's call that, you know, just one listing that kind of stays somewhat, you know, gets updated as the year goes on, but it's there kind of 365 days a year because that, you know, attraction is there and it might have kind of open between this particular window. Another opportunity that we have is package, experience, and event listings. So again, all free for folks to use and update as they need to. So those free listings, like a package, similar, like we just brainstormed a couple of ideas. So if you are offering like tickets to a particular event or a particular offering, a play, a concert, something like that, that also involves one of those additional opportunities, you know, that would be a package. So that would qualify for a package listing. I'll tell you a little bit more about what kind of qualifies in this experience in a bit. And then events as well. So event listings, you know, whether it's a day-long event, a 5-day event, those listings are able to be put up on novascotia.com. And if they are linked to a particular attraction or restaurant or accommodation or anything like that, the events, the experiences and packages would all be listed there as well. So there's opportunities. I kind of think of them as footprints. So a business listing might be one footprint on novascotia.com. But if you've created packages, experiences, and events as well, those are more footprints. And the more footprints that you have and the more footprints that you're keeping updated and adding every chance you get, then it's easier to be found. And it's easier because people tend not to know, like they're not going to know to look for you know, Ship's Company Theater. They're going to be looking for theaters in Nova Scotia and productions and events because they're not aware of exact names of businesses and opportunities. So the more that you can be found and the more that we can work on your listings to ensure that you've got, you know, keywords and searchable terms in there, the more apt you are to be found. So again, all of those are free for you to have on novascotia.com. And so, you know, if nothing else comes from today, I strongly encourage you to explore this opportunity to be listed and to update those listings as much as possible. So I thought now we would talk a little bit about what is that purchasable package or experience, you know, that we might put on novascotia.com. So a package is simply a minimum of 2 tourism offerings. It's a way to provide one-stop shopping for people. So they see this package that includes the, you know, admission to the cultural center and a maybe a hands-on pottery experience. You know, that is a package. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna interrupt for a second because Emmy has her hand up.
Okay, great. Hi, Emmy.
Yeah, hi, thanks. That's really fantastic that we can put our events on this website. Thank you for that. So maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but so you have two panels previous to this. There was, so if you're a business, you can potentially
This one?
yeah, you can potentially list your business here. Is there an opportunity for professional theater companies to you know, to list themselves? Because we have a number of theaters that are producing works in the summertime. So I mean, it's great that we can post our events, but the question is, can we also, you know, I guess in the events, there's probably an option to have a link to our website, and maybe I need to look into the event side. But so for business listings, you have all of these things that people are looking for. But like in the second bullet, attractions, artisans, studios, galleries, and shops, it seems to me it's a perfect opportunity to list venues and theater companies.
So I think with the theater company, I think there's definitely potential for a listing. And I think that whether or not it would qualify would depend on the specific theater company. So if there's a way for somebody to reach out and get in touch, if it has an actual location, just kind of it would just depend on the individual operations of that theater company. I think there's potential for probably some to be listed, but it may not be the right opportunity for others. So I think it'll just depend on each. As an example, somebody may have an artisan studio kind of in their backyard, but they really don't necessarily want visitors coming to their backyard. That's not something they're set up for. So that studio wouldn't be a great fit, but maybe that artisan is available at, local gift shops and galleries and things like that. So it's better for the gallery to be on novascotia.com. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, so and we're happy to discuss that and happy to look at, which theater companies it is the right opportunity for and which are better served by the event listings. So not trying to restrict, but we don't want to put things up there that are not going to be in your best interest, because we don't want to increase any frustration for visitors, right? I called, but I couldn't get anybody. So maybe the event listing is better fit, but we can work that out and find the right fit. And the right fit doesn't have to be static. If something changes, the right fit can be fluid, as different years come along, as the offerings change, things like that.
Yeah, and I guess, to be clear, and I totally hear what you're saying. And so maybe it's better for a venue-based theater. You don't want to list a theater company that's being operated out of someone's kitchen, which is a totally valid theater company. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, 100% agree.
But something like a ship's company who has a season that's going, from June till September kind of thing. So that's more along the lines that and interesting that the image that's being used to suggest a business listing is actually a theater company.
Oh yeah, the Highland Art Theater does have a listing on novascotia.com. Absolutely. So again, it's somewhat situational. So it's not necessarily like a rigid box. Sometimes we got to flow a little bit depending on which. So it's why unfortunately I can't give you just a clear yes or no, because each circumstance is going to be a little bit different. But that's why we want you to reach out. We want to talk to you. We want to figure out what's the right fit to give you the representation that works for you, so that you get the best qualified inquiries, so that you're getting, the right people are finding you. They're finding, I should qualify and say that no transactions take place on novascotia.com. Our goal is for you to be listed in the right way. So whether that's a business listing, an event listing, an experience listing, a package listing, and then we want them to click the book now button, the website button, the learn more button to find you and to reach out to you, to book those tickets, to book a tour, to make that transaction with you. No sales are made on novascotia.com. We want them to find your listing, and then we want to drive the traffic to your website.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. And thank you for the clarification. And it's really good to know that there is, two-way communication that's possible. But just, I came on this call clearly with a theater lens on. This is Theater Nova Scotia. I manage a theater company, so I'm looking at all of this through that lens. So I'm just asking, when I see gaps there, that's why I'm asking these questions.
No, and I thank you for the questions, and thank you for seeing the gaps, because that's how we grow. And you, as our industry partner, are vital to helping us identify those gaps, because we're not in your world. We want to learn about your world, and we want to better understand it so that we can bridge those gaps and we can fill them, but we need your help.
Fantastic.
So, I appreciate the questions, and if the answers aren't clear, or if you're like, I need more, then let's continue the conversation, because we're all learning, and that's how the province grows, is that we increase our understanding, and we're not going to do that in one kind of 1 hour sitting. So I hope that there's a commitment on our end. So I hope that we get a commitment from you guys to help grow with us and help us fill those gaps.
That's great, Judy. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, Emmy. Thank you for the question. Did anybody like I said, I feel weird because I can't see anybody. So if there's any further questions or we'll continue on, just let me know.
I think you're good to continue. And Emmy, if you wanted to put your hand down, and if I see another hand go up, I'll just interject and let you know, Judy.
Sounds great. Thanks, Kat.
Not a problem.
So what is that purchasable packager experience? Just kind of want to kind of plant some seeds here as to what another possibility might be if it's the right fit for you. So a package, like I said, is just a minimum of two things that provides value. And when I say value, I'd really like to qualify and say that doesn't mean discount. It means that you're adding value to that visitor experience so they leave with a greater understanding, a greater touch point, something more than just, just like we mentioned, you can just go to Halifax Citadel and walk around, but maybe we're able to package together that soldier for a day experience so that they get additional value from their visit. The package is sold as kind of a convenient one-stop shopping, so they don't have to book this and book this and book this. It's just here together for them. You choose those activities so they appeal to the market that you're trying to attract. It may be one of the three markets that we talked about today, or it might be that personal history explorer if you have a genealogy-based experience, or there's lots of things that may appeal to your market. And we really just, if you're packaging sort of within your business or organization, or packaging with, a local accommodation, just really encourage you to think about that we want to align all the package elements with your values and the level of quality that you're providing. So the visitors see that everything kind of fits together and works really well. So packages, they don't have to be complex. It can simply be, admission and a glass of wine. That's a package. It doesn't have to be super complex. Or you could partner with an external, dinner and this or something like that. So there's different ways to do it, but it's what do you feel really aligns with what you're offering, and who are you looking to partner with, which can be yourself or others. Packages can also be utilized as a marketing tool as well, because again, like I mentioned, it gives you that added footprint. It gives you something new to share on social media, so you can use it to reach a market as well. It's a really interesting opportunity and a valuable tool that you can use to kind of leverage opportunities to connect with your market. An experience, it's a package too, but it kind of takes it one more step. So an experience is a unique hands-on activity where a visitor can learn something by doing something with someone who lives here. So the visitor gets to have that experience, that tangible take-home memory that they really connected with. It's something really authentic to Nova Scotia is what we really want to create. And it adds that value that visitors really are willing to pay for because they can't get it anywhere else. It's never going to happen in another place, because maybe it's the unique talent, it's the unique artisan, it's the unique location. This is Cape Lahave Adventures in the image, paddling in beautiful Lahave. That can't take place anywhere else. You can kayak anywhere, many places in the world, but Cape Lahave Adventures provides that opportunity to paddle around the Lahave Islands, which is the differentiator and the thing that can't be replicated. And again, it is that mix of services that is available at one price point. So it's making that convenient booking, makes it easy. I'm sure we've all had online experience where the booking gets too challenging. We're like, oh, we'll do it later. So we really look at, how can we increase that convenience to make it really easy for visitors to purchase. So to give you another example of an experience, lobster is a really valuable commodity here in Nova Scotia, and almost half of our visitors taste and eat lobster while they're here. So if it's simply the lobster, that is, a perishable commodity. If we have a lobster dinner, that's a substitutable service. Someone cooked the lobster for me, they brought it out on my plate, and I'm going to eat it, and the service is the act of somebody cooking it and delivering it to my table. But if I choose to have a steak, that's fine too. I can substitute the lobster for a steak and I still get the service. An experience is when, it really cannot be replicated anywhere else, and it's not substitutable in the sense of, I have paddled this coastal estuary with my Parks Canada guide. We have landed on a beautiful beach in Southwest Nova Scotia where, a delicious lobster roll is presented to me in this unique location. So there's where we've created an experience. So we've included Nova Scotia's delicious lobster, but in an unforgettable, irreplaceable experience. So a package simply might be the guided, Parks Canada interaction. But when we add these other elements, we create that experience. On novascotia.com, it's simply how we categorize a listing, package, experience, but it's where you feel the value is to your visitor, whether or not one's a better fit for you to explore developing, or simply we want to just enhance the opportunity to connect by creating new listings. So just wanted to kind of plant some seeds of opportunities as other ways that you may be able to connect with visitors and create touch points with your organizations and your businesses. So as I said, though, they don't have to be complex. They just need to be well planned and promoted. We have to make people aware. If they can't find out about it, then they can't book it. So as long as those experiences, those packages, those events that you're putting on that we know you're so good at, if we can, increase the opportunity to be found, then we can increase the number of people that are interested in participating. So as I mentioned before, with COVID-19, it really pushed ahead the digital game. People were driven online by COVID-19. It's how we were all virtual travelers for a while. But whether we wanted to or not, it increased our comfort with booking and purchasing and reviewing things online, just because we had to stay home. So it's that online content and online footprint is so very critical, and really help. There's ways to help you stand out in the market as well. So we just know that, as much as we may hate going online and those social media apps and things like that, it is something that the visitors are really looking for. And so we need to make sure we leverage that as much as possible. So it's important to engage with those visitors through these different channels like the Google My Business listing, your Facebook, your Instagram, TripAdvisor, and things like that. Anywhere that you can make that connection is really important, because that's where they're looking. So if you're not there, then they can't find you. So with Tourism Nova Scotia, our hashtag that we use is Visit Nova Scotia. So as you're making posts online, encouraging people to reserve their tickets for this or come and visit this beautiful gallery and this particular artisan show, really encourage you to utilize that hashtag. So as people are searching that hashtag, but it also brings your post up so that our social media manager can see it and may have the opportunity to share it as well through our channels. So encourage you to utilize that, and use that hashtag too. So there are also hashtags used by our different regional partners like Destination Cape Breton. So if you have questions about that or you're in that region, please reach out and we can help you find those as well, because they're marketing your region as well. So it's important to make that connection too. And social media, people are talking. So it's also, if you have a hashtag, get people to use that as well. Like, I can't believe I'm at this show. It was amazing. Hashtag Ships Company Theater, or hashtag Ships Company, or whatever hashtag you choose. It's a great way to start a conversation. It's a great way to engage, and it's a great way to create advocates. People who had an amazing time want to share it. And so that's a way to become part of that sharing. Are there any questions as we're continuing on? All right, I'm going to keep going. So one thing, another tool that we have at Tourism Nova Scotia is that we created the Nova Scotia Experience Toolkit. So if experiences are new to you, this is the resource to kind of get you down into the nuts and bolts of it. So we always start with, what's the goal? Why do you want to create this experience? What are you trying to achieve? Who are you trying to attract? How do you want to market this? And it's all in that toolkit via 5 explainer videos and then different tips and worksheets to walk you through it A to Z. This is something you can do on a self-directed basis, or this is something myself and my colleagues are happy to work with you through, kind of step 1 through 10, however many steps. We're happy to work with you on it, or it's something that you as an organization could utilize the tip sheets and worksheets, as a working group or a brainstorm. It's there for you to leverage and there for you to explore to see if experience may be the right avenue for you.
Judy, can you just go back a slide to see, so
Yep.
we can see that URL for, oh, one more, just so we can see that URL for a moment longer.
Sure thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So just as a bit of a kind of summary, so these packages, experiences, events, listings, you know, if we combine all three, it's a great way to connect with the person who you're trying to attract, your best customer, because those best customers will become your best advocates. You know, it's a way to increase value, but to price appropriately for that. It's again, value is not about discount. Value is about providing additional value that you then charge appropriately for. You know, you can really make yourself stand out, create more demand. So if you know you're struggling to sell, you know, a particular event, so maybe we need to repackage that event in a different way. Package it, is create a different experience, or align it with other partners in the area to create more demand and increase visitation when you want it. So the goal of using these tools to drive more traffic is not to make you busier when you're already busy, but to drive traffic when you need it, when things are a little bit slower. And maybe that is in certain months of the year, certain days of the week. We really want to utilize these tools to benefit you in a way that is valuable to your business and organization. So a few more resources we'll just list off a bit. So obviously the updated COVID-19 information is available on our corporate website. So I talked to you a bit about novascotia.com, which is our consumer channel that all of our marketing goes to. But we have an additional website called tourismns.ca. That link is a little later in the presentation, which I'll share with you. So that's for you, the organization, the business, and that's where you'll find resources. That's where you'll find that experience toolkit, our research. We also have a digital asset library, so the photos that you see throughout this presentation are in that library, and you can request access to that. So anybody working in the tourism industry who is, you know, trying to motivate travel within and to Nova Scotia can utilize the assets in the library for their website, their social media, things like that. If you're a bed and breakfast owner, you can't print them and put them on the wall, but we're happy to have them utilized to kind of motivate that travel. And that library is available for you at no cost. We also have a webinar series that you can find, you know, upcoming webinars, as long as the recordings as well, that you're able to watch online that talk anything about digital marketing, that talk about accessing different markets, creating photography with smartphones. So there's lots of different skills and resources there for you to access to benefit and, again, always attract more visitation. One thing that we were able to launch this year that we're pretty proud of is Digiport, which is the first in the country for just specifically for the tourism industry. So this again is a free resource for you to access to help. We really want to enhance and bridge the gap of that digital marketplace that we know is so important. So Digiport is a way for you to access experts, connect one-on-one, ask questions, watch webinars, go through the resources, and so you can sign up again for this at no cost and, you know, try to enhance that digital footprint that we have that we know is so vital for visitors. So for us to keep in touch with Tourism Nova Scotia, one thing that I'd love for you all to do at the end of this, you know, check novascotia.com like we talked about, but also to sign up for In Touch newsletter. So we're, you know, throughout the year, we announce different programs, different partner programs where we want to work with the industry. Some involve, co-investments, some are funding, but they will all be announced through our In Touch newsletter. We do tend to have a short application window of a week or two when something is announced. So I encourage you to sign up for that newsletter so you're in the know right away and you can have a look to see if that's the right program for you to help accomplish your goals. And then, as I mentioned, I have 4 wonderful coworkers, Melanie, Erin, Catherine. We all work in different regions of the province and kind of concentrate our efforts there, but we work very closely together to develop these resources for you. And so you're welcome to reach out to any of us, and we're happy to connect you with either other members of our direct team or our marketing team. We have sales and media team, research, and so on. So there's lots of folks here to help you depending on what your specific need is. But thank you very much.